So today we are going to talk about, oh my gosh, there's a big bee in here with me. It's big. It looks like a big yellow jacket. Uh-oh. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Handmade Homestead and Garden. I'm Angela Allen, and I'm looking a little worse for the wear today. I have been outside planting in the garden all day, and boy, I do look like it. I can see that. But anyway, let's get to the reason for this video. All right, let's go. Today, I am going to show you something that probably every gardener has to deal with in their gardening space. I mean, there might be a few exceptions to this, but I would say it's not common. Pretty much every one of you has to deal with some space in your garden that's really, really shady, partial sunshine, or maybe not much sunshine at all. And I'm going to show you where mine is in my garden and what I plant there. And I'm hoping that will be really helpful to you. So let's go. Now I put my camera on a rickety little stand, so if it falls over, be prepared. So I can show you the seeds that I brought out to plant in my shadier parts of my garden. And again, if these aren't what you love for your family, don't be afraid to use different ones. Just check the package and make sure it says for partial shade or shade. All right, so first up, this looks like golden sweet snow peas. It is actually a mixture of different kinds and colors and varieties of different snow and snap peas that I have mixed in the same package. That's just how I roll. So those will go, there's a trellis at one end of this little row. I brought red Malabar spinach. It's one of my favorite greens for the garden. This is climbing. It could also go up against the trellis. It's really a beautiful plant, and it's really nice. It's got these beautiful red stems, and the leaves are edible and delicious. So I can grow them right along with the peas or next to the peas, because pea leaves and pea shoots are edible too. So there's no problem if while I'm picking these, I accidentally pick some of the pea leaves. It still makes great greens, great to eat. I brought New Zealand spinach. I actually brought two of them. New Zealand spinach grows fairly low to the ground. It'll get about a foot tall, but it will spread out. It's almost a little bit vining. It is a great heat tolerant, will grow through all summer. Once you get it up and going, this stuff will keep going till frost. It is a very spinach-like flavor. The leaves, just like the red Malabar spinach, are a little more meaty and juicy, and they taste delicious. They freeze good, and I love them. These are fine in partial shade. I have some Ford Hook Swiss chard. I'm not going to plant any of that today. I've put a lot of Swiss chard in yesterday, but I just want you to know that that is something you can put in a shadier part of your garden. I have Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce. I have some Freckles romaine lettuce. I have radishes because I need to sprinkle them in a few places around the garden anyway. Mizuna mustard, which is absolutely delicious and perfect in partial shade. Regular Bloomsdale longstanding spinach, perfect again in the shade. The leaves get darker. They actually get more nutritious in the shade than if you grow them in the sun, and you will get an extra 3 or 4 or maybe 5 weeks of harvest off your spinach if you don't plant it in the sunlight. And the other one is good old arugula. I'm not overly fond of it. My husband likes it in salad. I don't grow a lot of it. But again, this is the time of year to put it in, and if you put it in the shade, it will grow longer. Otherwise, if you put this in the sun, pretty much any time of the year, it's just gonna bolt before you can even blink. So I only put it in early spring or late fall, and that is another thing that can absolutely go in the shady spot in your garden. So let's go take a look at the garden spot where we're going to put some of these seeds in, so you can take a look and see just how shady it is. Now the sun is out right now. It is probably about 4 in the afternoon, so it's going past a little bit, but this one row is usually shaded all the time. I'm pretty sure that every garden has a spot like this. Right back after that second little low tunnel, I have a really nice row. It's really fertile. It's soft, loamy, wonderful chocolate cake soil, but it's absolutely in the shade most of the time. So I'm going to show you what I plant there. So this gives you a pretty good idea of just how much sun I've got going in my garden right now, and just how much shade is over there on that side. So let's go a little closer. So this row right here has Brussels sprouts at that end and cabbages at this end, and it gets sun. You can see the sun on it. Even though the sun has gone by, it's coming up towards golden hour here in the east coast of Rhode Island, zone 7A, but that sun doesn't always translate to this row. Now it is not certainly in the dark like underneath a shady tree, but you can see how the row is, it's not bright. It is not bright, but it is enough partial sunlight to grow all of the things that I just showed you. First, we're gonna take care of these little bit of weeds that are coming up and fluff up that soil and throw some seeds in. And yes, for those of you who are very observant, you did just see me chaos seed all of that on the ground in that row. I just sprinkled it all in, but I did sprinkle it in blocks, and I don't care where the greens kind of mix and mingle at the edges. Everything I planted looks very different as it grows out, and I will absolutely be able to tell them apart. It's all edible greens, so there's no risk to my family or anybody else who might grab some to eat them. And again, like I said, I can absolutely tell them apart myself, and I'm okay if they mix a little at the edges. I'm probably going to mix them in a salad mostly anyway. And that kind of chaos gardening where you just kind of sprinkle the seeds and let them grow just works really well for me in some areas of my garden. I do like a neat, kind of whimsical garden with a lot of variety. You'll notice there's nothing stuffy or formal about my garden. I do like it kind of neat because it's easier to see when the problems arise so that I can fix them before they become big problems. But in this case, they're just greens. They're going to end up in a salad bowl or cooked on the stove, so they're fine. I'm okay with that. Now I will go back and I will ruffle up that soil just a little bit just to make sure that the seeds all come in contact with dirt, and then I will water them in. I am a very strong advocate for trying new things, doing something different, and breaking the rules in your own garden. This is your garden. It is your event. It's your space. It's your hobby. Do new things, try new things. If you fail, oh well, plant again. But yeah, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you are a formal gardener, if you're crazy neat, or if you're a little bit wild, if you're whimsical, if you're very structured in your gardening, let me know if you ever chaos cast your seeds or if you measure out and plant each seed based on the package directions, which I never do. All right, let's get some water on these seeds after we get them ruffled in a little bit, and that entire bed in a matter of 5 minutes is planted and ready to go, and I don't have to worry about it again until it's time to maybe check it for pests or pull off some leaves for a nice salad. I want to just show y'all something before I go do that. When I say ruffle in the seeds, this is what I mean. Have you guys seen one of these? Years and years and years ago, probably back in the 80s or 90s, these are called garden weasels. You can still buy them. See how the teeth kind of interlock right there? The little starred discs. There's 3 of them. I think you can actually buy these with 4 too. And when you put them in the soil and you roll them, you can see how they would do a good job of removing weeds or kind of pulling them up. And that is a good use for it. But what I use it for, since I don't have a lot of weed problems, I use it to kind of what I call ruffle in or push the seeds into the ground. Here, let me show you how it works. All right, so here's my dirt that I just put those seeds in. And so instead of pushing hard on it, I'm just going to push it really easy. And if I just kind of roll it a little back and forth, sorry, there's quite a bit of mulch in this garden. But if I just kind of give it a little bang up and down, give it a little roll here and there, not too much, but just super lightly, you can see how it just kind of makes sure that those seeds are all in contact with some dirt. And I am going to water this when I'm done, and it will be all set. It's just a super easy way, especially for older people, not to have to get down on their hands and knees to plant every little seed. Here we go. And just like that, a few sprinkles, a little roll around of my little buddy here. And I know that my seeds are in and ready to grow. There's my row all the way down. Let's get this watered and it will be done. And as always, I'm going to give this a sprinkle from the JADAM tank first and then water all of that in so that the microbes can help break down what's in the soil to make the nutrients in the soil more accessible to the plants. So let's sprinkle in that JADAM water. There's just a couple tablespoons of JADAM from the tank in that whole 2 gallons of watering pitcher. Well, thank you for joining me today. Well, we talked about some of the vegetables that you can plant in the shady areas of your garden. Don't be discouraged if these are not your favorite things to eat. There are plenty of other things out there. Just look for packs that say either partial or full shade or mostly shade, depending on what part of your garden you're going to put them in. We all have shady areas. They absolutely do not need to be left fallow. You can grow there. You can have great food from those places. Just pick the right seeds and the right timing and get yourself out there and get them planted. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us so much with the algorithm. And as always, we are actively trying to grow this channel, and your participation is 100% matters in our success. And I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for your time, for your participation, for your comments, for your likes and subscribes and shares. And I will absolutely see you next time. Take care.